Before we continue the video, I want to let everyone know that everything you see here today and see is not financial advice or trading advice of any kind. It is just merely for entertainment, comedic, and educational purposes only. Bear in mind, I eat red crayons for breakfast, and you should too, but if you do, you may get a tummy ache, so eat them at your own discretion. I am not responsible for any consequences you would have by listening to anything you see in this video. I hope you guys learned something and enjoy your time here on our chart room and the rest of this channel. Thank you very much, guys.
Good morning, team. I'm so glad you're here. It's 9:39 Mountain Standard Time, and thank you and welcome to my chart room. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Let's get right into XRP. So some XRP stuff for the 4-hour chart. So I'm very, very glad from our last main video that I posted earlier this week, where this yellow arrow is at. We had made a call on the daily chart, right when the daily chart hard closed. And I believe that we did that video right at the time of the close, which would have been about, I think it's like 5 p.m. my time. And price had hard closed right here in this segment. And so when that happened, I was looking at a lot of things at that time, and there was about 3 main reasons and later a 4th reason on why that was a very specific point of time. It's going to be here on the daily chart. Okay, there's that hard close right there. On why this is a very, very special bar. Look at the ultra high volume that we had on that red bar. It was the highest it had been since in the past 3 days, which the highest being this long bar here. And as we came right back down to the expected area, I told everybody we wanted to get a bounce either up here or on top of the wick or on this white line. Now that white line is very important. So somebody asked me in the comments today, what are these lines? I don't understand these lines. Well, I'm glad you asked. These lines represent buying and selling points in history as is drawn on these candles, and I draw these lines. So if you were to look on a chart into the past, I would connect these core points here. So for example, in April 15th of 2015, I went ahead and, April 14th, I drew the core point up there, and I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, so see, I drew a line right at the very top of there. Okay, right at that top. And then I connected the other swing high at the next swing high core point, which was here. Okay, and those lines, drawing them into the future, and I drew them on a logarithmic chart. Okay, that gives me some very important points in the future. So if price ever comes back to those lines after going down, we know that something's very important. So when I saw price had done something like this, came all the way down from that line, I knew that if price ever comes back to that line, we might be either looking for price to reject it, but if price breaks through the line on strength, then that means something else would happen. That line would now become a support. So as before, it's like a resistance, like a roof. Price were to come here, it would bounce off and come down. But once it gets enough strength and bumps through, I'm actually waiting for a swing back to that line so we can go up. And depending on how good of a bounce we get, it can go up very high and even get past previous levels like these price points. So this is what I'm, in a sense, doing. I know it looks a little bit complicated, but what I'm doing is I'm drawing on price. Forgive me if I'm sweating a little bit. It's not because I'm nervous of your questions. It's because we're still waiting for the new AC unit to be arrived and be installed. And until then, even though we live in a very hot place, we don't live in a humid place. Now it's getting kind of humid. So that's why I haven't really been filming as much, because it's pretty wet. So you might see me covered in, water by the end of this videos. So we'll see what's going on there. So let's do this. Now, let's go into the 4-hour chart. I wanted to show you what is really happening. So I have some interesting things I've been observing. The first things I want you to notice is that I'm seeing support at various points. So here's one I see, and I didn't draw it, but I just want you guys to see what I'm drawing. So if I were to draw a trend line from this core roof and draw it from this swing high, and I were to come and draw that out, that gives me a couple points in time. That gives me the shortcut, which is right about here. And we could see that price went up and had a hard time trying to close on that shortcut area. And I'm going to draw it for you so you can kind of see it. And then we'll delete it because it's just a very minor thing, but I want you to see it. Where price cut through is approximately right there. And price went down and stopped in that area, came back up, and then it kind of came into that area again and is almost touching, but it actually found a support area on here. Now this is just very general, and I'm sure I could draw it on a 2-hour chart a little bit better if we were to zoom in just a little bit closer. But basically, let's see if we can draw it here. Yep, a lot better. You could see the cut is where price where price started losing. Okay, we were coming down in this general area. If I were to adjust these numbers here, it would look something like that. And you could see that price went all the way up and came back down to that area. And then we started finding some support. And then what we did was we took that area and we found that price was bouncing off of this area for other reasons. So it's a couple reasons that's happening. But on a micro scale, that was just something I quickly noticed. So I didn't really draw that, but I did draw some other things. Okay. This blue line was the important line. That upper blue, that was the phantom support line. And that line was this blue one down here duplicated. Okay, so we took that blue line, we cloned it out, and what you do is you draw these lines parallel. It's actually got to be a little bit more parallel. There we go. That's parallel. And when you do that in the future, you pay attention to that blue line, because if price ever bounces on that line, it's significant. And you can see that price actually bounced and came down to that blue line very accurately, and then it came up, came down again, and went up. There's another thing I drew, which was actually the core points of here. So this is a 4-hour chart. But if I were to draw a line from this swing up here and extend it out straight, let's make it bright yellow so you can see what it is. You see price came up, came down, went up, swung all the way back down to that yellow line, and then we went up. So there's another reason why we got that bounce at that point, and why I was expecting that bounce too, because there's support everywhere. I didn't draw this one until right after I filmed my last video that day. But for right now, I'll leave it on as yellow for you guys to see it. Again, these are all the 4-hour charts. Okay. Now, another line we have to look at is this pink line right here. Now, that pink one, price didn't come down to it, but it got really close. We got it this far, and then we immediately came back up, which we were expecting these lines to hold and hard close. This is on a daily chart. And when I drew the significant point of here, it was actually here, this big swing. If you look at price, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. So we stopped at that line 3 times, so that line is important. Okay, so now let's look back at the 4-hour and see some other things and why they're important. So a couple other things we notice is that, again, this view right here is regular right now. Change back to the regular view, and it just the angle of this white line. Now, the other day I did a video because it was very significant. We pushed through that white line, and that was the resolve, and that was the resolve, and it was very important that we got that hard close, because that allows us to know that anything below the line is the discount and above is where we really should be. Okay. Also, this line here has been penetrated as well. So that means, and this has been penetrated twice. So that means that this purple line right here has really lost its strength. And so what I'm going to do now is we're going to turn that transparent about halfway, so it's not as important. So you can see that. Okay. And the other thing that we're going to do now is we're going to see that, this purple line can come back and play once we get on top of that line. Now price is really free to bounce up on that line, because it's saying, I'm ignoring you. I'm ignoring you. But you know when it's going to come into play? If we ever come up and sit down on there, then we can really blast off from there. But again, we're already in blast off area. So we've been in blast off area since here. In fact, we actually were in blast off area since the last time all that happened, when I made my call $120 XRP, which was here. So you guys can watch that video too, because then we were ready to go straight up. Well, that same thing happened. See that nice curve, guys, I've been telling you about? So please watch my other videos. You can see what I'm talking about. Now, there's some things, and there's always battles within battles. So we need to pay attention to what those kinds of things are. Now, when we saw price have this wick, and it has been acknowledged, because we went up and then we hit it, and then we went up and then we came down, and then we were fighting it all day, and then we finally broke up and then sat on it a little bit, and then we came and sat down on it again, and then we kind of curved a little bit and we sat on it again. And this is a 4-hour chart, so all this has been happening. This is today, August 21st. I believe price is now ready to go up, but it's not going to have to worry about that guy. So it's going to be able to just go up. There's not really much standing in the way after these are settled and done. If I were to connect the cores of these areas here, it gives me the green lines here. And if I'm drawing those pretty accurately, there it is. We can see that price is sitting on them. What else? Well, price has also this green support here. Now, the reason I didn't draw it here is because this is kind of staggered, but these 3 wicks here are pretty balanced. See, 1 wick, 2 wick, 3 wick. And you could draw the cores if you wanted to, maybe about right there as an average. But from what I see right now, price has responded pretty well to these. Okay, do you see that? So this is another sign that price is healthy. We got this line, that line, the wick, and this. And then I have a moving average the price is coming up to, or it came up to price. We won't get into that for today. But I just want you guys to be aware of what I see on price, and it's looking very, very healthy. Now, on the daily chart, it may not look like much is happening, but the setup is already complete on there. So now you're just zooming in for smaller and smaller time frames. Now, I will tell you some other things. If we look at a 1-hour chart, I can show you some battles going on and why price was going to be lower. Now, if I turn on the 1-hour chart and I were to draw that same core, it would look very different. Let's turn it yellow. I would have seen some support. Price came up to that level, hit the roofs, came back down, hit the roofs, came back down, and now we found the real support, which is on the green line. But you can't draw that green line. It wouldn't not make sense if you were just trying to draw it on a 1-hour chart. You have to draw it on a higher time frame. So this yellow line becomes more and more minuscule because we're really paying attention to the higher time frames first. And you can see on the higher time frame that that yellow line is pretty insignificant. But all of them are telling the story on why I'm not so scared of these long red candles. Because those red candles are where they should be. In fact, we see a higher volume on those candles. And the next bar is an up bar. So that tells me that all that red candle it's possible it has a lot of buying in it, because this volume is basically equal. Do you see how these volumes are equal to each other? And look at it's like this one's a spring or compressed. So I wouldn't be surprised if over the next day or so, hours, because these are 4-hour candles, so that means every candle is 4 hours of time. So I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing this really nice support form over the rest of the day, ready to boom. But again, guys, tomorrow is the 22nd. I believe up until tomorrow, until possibly Tuesday, but really Monday is my big hope, that I believe we might be seeing some $3 XRP and then possibly to 12 soon after that. But I think the first pump would put us about $3, and there's going to be some good profit taking. Now, if we don't get that based on news or external sources, the prices are still set up to get to higher prices. And let me show you where we're at. $1.56. $1.5665. That's my next target for price. That's where I see price going next. So I don't see us having much of a problem getting to 156. And after 156, the next target, previous highs, 197, 196. Do you see how I didn't make these so big? It's because I actually expect us to be hitting $3.31. So that's where I expect the first movement to happen, $3.31. And that's where I think we're going to be headed soon. So with that, after that $3, I think we're going to be hitting some $12 XRP soon before some major profit taking, and then resistance down to a certain level. And I think we may actually come back to the previous highs, according to some prophetic intel, but we have to match it with some of the data, and we'll see it at that time. But I think we're going to be coming back down to either the $3 level or 196. Or this level right here, or possibly where the fib matches over here, clone, $3.07. So probably one of those. After that, we may be going up, and then we can be experiencing some very high XRP during the next bull run. Some very, very high XRP. Again, per my other video, $120 XRP. I believe there is up to $125 on the table, possibly a little bit more or less if my drawing was just a little bit off, up to $150. But I really believe that it's pretty accurate, and so that means there's approximately $120 on the table for the taking. But we could see some tops before then, and we may get to about 99 or so. Okay, so I think that's where going to be some major profit taking is going to be at. And I believe when we finally get to those areas, we're probably coming into the time of the great crash. But it's very possible we can see some very, very wild movements until we get there. And we could be seeing like $65 and then a huge drop is some of the other intel I'm receiving. But we need to watch carefully, and I'll do my best to be there with you guys as we get to those levels. So bear those in mind. For now, we take it one leg at a time, and we'll get there. Okay. One last thing I forgot to mention about the 4-hour chart, guys, on XRP is when we had this cut in price on the here. This line normally would have worked like a resistance. So when we came up here, we should have done that. But instead, because we broke through, we now need to see if we broke through on higher and increasing volume, because that's a sign that's a very bullish sign. And after that, we can look for some supports. But what we did see is that we had a down bar on no demand, which was very, very low volume. And the next bar was a big push on higher volume. It wasn't ultra high volume, but it was higher. And so it was noteworthy. The next bar was a long down bar, but the wick came all the way to that level right here. And then it pushed all the way back up. And that was on increasing volume. So all that red down bar had a lot of buying in it. And it was denoted by the ultra high volume and the close near the middle. After that, the next candle revealed an up bar. So that was a good sign. However, the volume was even lower. So that means price still needed to test these areas. So we broke through was the most important thing, but we weren't ready to just rise right through it. It wasn't strong enough. We need support. When's the next support? Well, when that line ends. Oops, sorry, that's a little weak. Oh, but here we go. See, went down, and then we sat on the line just a few hours back, and now that's where we're at. Now let's look at the volume here, and we can see that again we have a very high volume after the down bar, and we came all the way down to that wick. So we went from here all the way back up. So there was a lot of buying in there, and again, this confirms by the next bar being an up bar, but there was some pushing volume pushing down. So the next few bars are going to reveal if we have some increasing volume. That'll be really good. Now we have 2 hours and 45 minutes left, and we already have almost 70% of that volume being matched. So if the next 2 hours we get another, if we get some good up bar on increasing volume, that's very good for higher prices, and I would expect price to go through this area no problem. Okay, and that means we're going to be experiencing some higher price XRP, and I expect it to be today, tomorrow, Monday, and Tuesday. I also want to say that you guys should join the community room. It's a great time. So if you guys want to join the community room, currently there's 510 members in JSong's community chart room. So we got 510 members there, and you guys can make some friends. You can have some good conversation. You can ask a lot of your questions that you have about, cryptocurrency and how to do this or how to do that. There's a lot of basic stuff that there's a lot of people that will be very happy to help you in that group, and as well as the admins in the room that we have appointed. They're very great guys. We have Mr. Sully and right now Brian. So big shout out to these guys. They're great, very friendly people, and the whole group is just so friendly and willing to just help you guys. And I just want to thank all the group. You guys always have a good time. I try to check in and make answer as many questions as I can sometimes when they're directed towards me. If you do catch me in the room, click on my name and you'll be able to subscribe if you just wanted only notifications when XRP only goes out, because this community group is always free to join, and my XRP charts are always free for everyone in the Telegram community room, so you can just join for XRP. Now, if you were looking to get membership notifications for not just XRP, but other cryptocurrencies, Doge, Bitcoin, XRP, Shiba, XLM, XDC. We just recently did SPX, ETH, HBAR, and so a lot of currencies. I have them, and I'll post maps and map updates from them. I believe every 2 weeks I usually cycle through one chart, one map with a bunch of pictures and arrows. I try to draw arrows on my charts to make it very easy for you guys to see where my next target is, and I circle it with like chalk, but it's really like looks like a crayon. So some people call me Captain Crayons. So if you do, may God help your soul. Just kidding. No, I don't mind. You guys can call me whatever you want. Just don't call me late for dinner. So what happens is on that membership notification, I'll be posting chart maps of various kinds, and it'll look something like this. And so you'll see me when I have a new YouTube video, you'll see links right there. Or if I have exclusive videos that's only for the membership section, which I'm going to be having some today for some of the cryptocurrencies, you're going to be able to get these notifications. And sometimes if I'm on the go, you'll get a screenshot and you'll be able to quickly respond to me by clicking on that picture itself. And there's a comment section on the bottom. So if you had the question like, hey, what is that, you can quickly respond to me, and I'm usually good about answering. If I'm on the go, then I may not be able to get to your question, but I try to get back to all the questions as best I can. Sometimes I'll just have to point you into another direction. If I send you a link, that means I'm really busy, but this link probably has your answer to it. Okay. Then I'll give you guys some commentary. Here we did HBAR, Doge, XRP in the morning. We try to I give 2 XRP updates with commentary. one in the morning, one in the evening. Sometimes the commentary is small because there's not really an update. It's just like, hey, per this last video, that's the update. But sometimes there's some very important stuff and I'm moving really quickly. So please sign up for the membership section there. We have, as of today, we have 100 and so as of the filming of this video, we have 197 patrons who joined for those notifications and for being in the membership section. And then you can always, if you're a paying member, you can also request a special chart if you really wanted to. And then what I'm doing is I'm getting better about adding the tags. So you'll be able to quickly search through that. So if you want to Dodge, you can type DOGE, and then it's going to take you to my last post that have to do with Dodge. And then sometimes I'll add updates to an existing post as well, and it gives me the power to let you guys know to notify the group for those. So if those have been a help, adding them to your current technical analysis, go ahead and make sure you sign up for membership, because I would sure love to have you a part of my team. I'm building my team bigger. So I have some people that I've been connecting with. Even my own wife she's going to be she's being trained from the beginning, and I'm using her to create a new course to teach everyone my methods, like from beginner all the way to more advanced. And then I have another student right now. He's learning alongside with me, and I'm actually using him and my wife as a guinea pig. He's a little more advanced and seasoned, so I'm between the two of them. What I'm doing is I'm coming up with this course to make sure that I'm doing it in the right way and sharing all of my secrets, all of my methods in a step-by-step, easy to follow format. And that I'm in the process of creating. So I hope to have that to you guys in about 2 or 3 months, if not sooner. But that's the current plan right now with that. And what I will be doing with that course is I will be launching it on the membership section of the site at a certain tier level. So I don't have a price for that course just yet, but there will be a certain tier level that if you are a membership section, or if you signed up for the certain bonus, you'll be able to get access to that course, and I should be releasing it and those private video links on here, as well as the format. So I might be creating a PDF ebook and giving that to you guys for those people who sign up for that course when it's done. So we'll be doing that, and it should be on this site. Let's move on to some more coins. Okay, guys. So before we begin Bitcoin, let's answer some questions from the community room. A simple question about your charts from Angelina. Is the white box with the numbers for XRP 1566 in the latest chart the expected price, and the red box on the right $1.2361 the current day's price? So if so, if I want to buy XRP, I look at those two prices. Thank you. To answer your question, the current price, I believe it's always going to be right here on this side. Right there. Let me see if I can show this. So it's going to be right here in this section. Okay, that's where you would be looking at the current price. But the reason I don't have that always displayed is because I'm never really so much concerned with the current price, but rather my targets. So the prices that are the most important is the prices on the actual map itself. So like this one could be really important, and you'll have to watch my videos for my explanations. But if you see the highest one with the circle, that means that is the next target I'm expecting. Okay. Kind of hope that answers your question. Next one. Hey Jason, I'm a new follower. From what I've seen so far, the prediction is that there's going to be a huge run up to about $12, and then it will have a flash crash to as low as 25 cents before shooting up again, possibly to 3 digits. I actually think it's not going to be all the way back down to 25 cents, not right there. The 25 cents will happen at the end of the crypto winter, from what I understand, and it's going to happen at the very end. Because when we get to like $100, again, that's not XRP activation. That is going to be minuscule compared to where we're going. I actually expect $4,000 XRP. That's what I expect. I actually expect it's going to be more than 4,000, almost like a starting number. That's kind of what I believe. Now, there's some reasons that may actually change, and that has to do with the value of money itself, which may come into play. But in today's money, I think we're going to be hitting around 4,000 on upwards, like as the starting amount. But it's possible we can run up to that. It's possible that amount needs to translate into the new value of money coming into 2022, because money is going to change its value for a lot of reasons, which I won't get into here. But you just need to understand that the prophetic community is expecting a big switch or collapse of the paper money system, and that's only going to feed into XRP even more, because XRP runs the interledger protocol for central bank digital currencies, and it can run it for gold and silver, precious metals, and everything else in the entire world. Are all the banking institutions that are all built ready to use this interledger protocol. And this is not secret information, this is public information, but it's being hidden from you. And so you need to do your homework on XRP and what XRP is. I recommend watching like the Moon Lambo channel. He does a very good job. You can also look at Limbo. He's really, really good with explaining what is happening with not just the settlement information, but stuff that's happening in XRP in general. And there's so many channels out there talking about XRP. I'm giving you the price maps so you can do your homework and understand. But if the current system of money collapses in alignment with prophetic intel, then that would go along with the intel community, and also that would feed into an activation of XRP, what we call a flip of the switch in the XRP community. A flip of the switch, which I call it the activation, when they turn on everything, and then you're going to see the old money system going away and using the new digital money systems, as well as some digital everything, so you're going to see a lot of that kind of stuff happen in the future very soon. And they said they just need the right catalyst. It could be a black swan event. It could be a black swan event of any kind. It could be a cyber pandemic or a cyber attack. They're talking about that kind of stuff. So that's all over the news. They're saying, get ready for cyber attack, get ready for, well, they're trying to condition your mind to accept that if they crash the system, which it all seems like everything from lockdowns, everything is leading to try to crash the system. Now, they were trying to use it, I believe, for evil purposes, to create a one world currency, one world government, but that's actually not the case, and that's not going to be the case. And I don't believe that will be the case for a long time into the future. And then maybe those days will come, as biblically, stated. Those things have to happen. But until those days happen, we have a new ledger protocol where everything's going to be talking to each other through this protocol, and that protocol uses XRP. It ripples the custodian. So yeah, just a stop. So what is a good buyback strategy if you want to sell around $12 and buy back, let's say, around 45 cents? So I would be probably taking some profit at 12, some good profit, and then I would have some orders, I think, at the highs, because people are going to, you're going to look at the psychology of trading. People are going to be looking at this and saying, I wish I got in. And they're going to be waiting for a great price. The price is never going to come back down to its current price. Well, I shouldn't say never. Current price in this next market run up, it won't come back down to this level. It's going to come back down to maybe a previous high. That's why I think we're going to be finding support around $3, and that goes along with, I believe, Prophet Robin said something like that too. Which, by the way, as an announcement, he's going to be coming on our show, and so he's going to be coming to meet me and my wife, and it's going to be awesome. We're gonna bring him on the show in September, so be looking forward to that. But I really think we're going to be going to around $3. So you may be wanting to look back in those areas of possibly buying. but I want to do some analysis. We should be seeing a setup. It may happen very, very quick, and we may miss it. So be careful if you're leverage trading, because if we buy at a 3 and it goes down to like $1 or whatever, you can get margined out and then it comes. So just be aware of keeping your stops so close. You always want to trade based on price behavior, rather than just a price number. I thought of setting a few price points: 0.90, 0.75, 0.45, 0.30. So I hope that answers your question. That's what you said. Hope this answers your question, Angelina. Oh, Milton, that was from Milton. I do apologize, this last one. And thank you, Milton, from Singapore. It looks like you have a very beautiful wife here. And thanks for all the comments on my beautiful wife. Isn't she? Isn't she? I know. No, I let her know all the time. She's like, oh, no. Yes, you are. What are your hobbies? What do you like to do in your free time? You like cycling or fishing? Curious as to what to know what keeps you busy. I love, my hobbies are miniature gaming. I like miniature gaming. I like to play miniature gaming with my wife. We play like Star Wars Legion miniature game. Don't you get religious on me? Oh, Legion is the name of. I know. The Legion also means the army. So, or like an army. So like I play these games. You roll the dice, you move your mice. Where's this? You roll your dice, you move your mice, and I play Infinity, the game a little bit too, and I like to paint them. I like to paint them, and like have wargaming battles. I also play like a video game with my wife here. We play Mario. Right now we're playing another game. So I like to try to. I also really like reading. I really enjoy reading. One of my favorite books to read, Arabian Nights. I got this at Barnes and Noble. This is just tons of stories in there, and then I have like the whole 12 volumes on my iPad. So very, very fun. That's what I really like to do. I love bass fishing, but I haven't been bass fishing in a long time. But I hope to do it again very soon. I also enjoy traveling and exploring, and just going places I've never been before, taking walks. I often take walks to be alone. I like to have a lot of quiet time to refresh my mind. And I think that's some of the main things that I like to do. Yeah. Oh, and I also like to create music. I write music. I write a lot of music songs, and I'm working on my album. And I have been. I write a lot of worship songs, and I love to sing, do worship. So right now I'm working on doing the type of music I do live. So that's kind of a challenge right now, but that's what I'm doing right now. Hey, Jason, what would be a good buyback price when XRP hits $12 area? I believe I answered that question. How long do you see this altcoin bull market lasting? I believe the altcoin bull market's going to last until the end of the crypto winter. I think once we get to a certain price point, that weakness is really going to show up, and then we won't get much time after that. Because when prices fall, they fall fast. So I should be able to draw those weaknesses on price. We should be able to see them, and I hope to be there with you guys, God willing. I'll be there with you guys during these times when they come up. Blessings for the Q&A. For the people that live in New York City, do you know an exchange they can use to buy XRP? Blessings. I am not sure. You may want to try BitTrue. If you're still having problems, you may want to try maybe a VPN. If you're in New York City, maybe try a VPN. They may help. Here's another one. Hey, Jason, thank you for all you do. I've seen documents that the government may try to buy back our XRP at the end of this year. Can you speak to this if it actually will happen? And also, I do believe Bitcoin will crash before the reset. If they buy back at the end of the year, I've seen some of those documents. If they buy back, the current buyback price is around 4,250. It is true that XRP was actually built for running the money system, so basically the banks. But people who have XRP could very well, I've heard, become a bank themselves. So if you have XRP in the future, you could become a bank, especially if XRP in the next 5 years hits around $1 million, which is it's very possible. And you got to think about it. Bitcoin had a target of $1 million. People were like, "Oh, Bitcoin's going to hit 100,000, and it's going to," and it's possible, but Bitcoin has no utility. Bitcoin is just a store of value. It's not. It doesn't have a purpose except for just it's only worth what you think it's worth. But XRP is a utility. It's not a fan club coin. It has a utility. So there's a very important reason that it's used. It has a purpose, and it's also a currency and a coin. Okay. Now, so that'll be the questions I'll respond right now. I had some more questions. When I might add them to the dream video, but let's see what's going on with. And those questions were from our Patreon group and from my emails. But I've been trying to answer some of those, but I think some of them I'm going to share later on in our dream video later today. Let's get right into Bitcoin. So Bitcoin's been looking good, honey. Work it, honey, work it. All right, so into Bitcoin. What do we have here? Interesting. I hope you guys see it. I hope you guys been following along. This chart and my targets have not changed much, so I can upload these to the maps. But guys, we're right on schedule. Okay, we're right on schedule. If you were just tuning in, okay, up, down, up, down, up, down on the weekly charts, weekly lines, and then go up. Normally, we would reject this line and come up, but that's where we have to examine price behavior at that point. And what we saw was the breakthrough penetrated that line on high volume. Here, look at the volume, it's pretty high. Down here, this volume is pretty high on that bar. And then we came up and we tested that line by sitting on top of it, and it was also the sword cut. Okay, so that was the sword cut right there in orange, and I drew that for you guys so you know where the pain point is. And of course, went up on the line, hard close on the sword cut, went up and sat on the sword cut, and there we went. Okay, now where are we going? So this is a super good sign, guys. Now, I use Bitcoin like an indicator. I don't trade on Bitcoin because the percentages are, there's so much more money in XRP and others. But if you want to know what's going to be happening in altcoins, you need to follow Bitcoin. A lot of times, you're going to see it. Here we're going. That's where we're going. Again, this is not trading or financial advice of any coin, but I believe we're going to 64,107.09 for right now. That is the previous high. There's another danger point to watch for. It's going to be here. This is the minor version of that. This kid's stall price, and that's 59,000. Not 60,000, but 59,000. The wick area that it could hit is 59,727. 59,559. But these are the main areas that I'm expecting prices to go. So let's just move these over so you can see them. But yeah, that's what we're looking at, guys. And if Bitcoin's doing this, what do you think XRP is also doing if XRP has the better setup? Okay. All of this, if it feeds into a settlement announcement on Monday or Sunday night, guess what? Well, it's good for all cryptos. And these setups are really great. What happened last time we got the setup down here? Break through, sit on that line, boom. Break through, sit on the sword cut, boom. Now we're in the sword cut area. So a couple things could happen. This next sword cut area is here. That one. But price needs to do something. It needs to make a decision there. This is a pain point from all of this. Okay, all of that's coming into play like a roof, and it can act like this. However, if price has enough time to push through that area, it would need to push through so it can go up, which means we'd be expecting prices higher than 64. We can be expecting prices much higher than 64, possibly towards this line up here, which I drew as the top. And let's bring that into play because that's starting to, I drew these on a logarithmic chart. They may come into play. What is the current price of that? 162,000. But that's if we get past these areas. So we need to get past those areas to even have that conversation. But remember, guys, when the real crash happens, Bitcoin is the last place you want to be. Because if Bitcoin crashes, it has no store of value. And I believe that Bitcoin is going to be exposed really, really soon to some external things. So it's cool. Already I see a big decoupling that's happened on XRP and Bitcoin. So Bitcoin doesn't always follow XRP doesn't really always follow Bitcoin. Not anymore. So you need to be aware of that. But a lot of altcoins do. If Bitcoin crashes, everything will crash. Okay. But if everything crashes, that can also even pull down XRP. So there's a fine, delicate balance. We have to look into the markets to see these kinds of things. And I want you to just be aware of those things. As it is right now, we'll take it one step at a time. Okay. These are the next steps. 58,919 and then $64,017. When Bitcoin crashes and it's exposed and have no utility, a lot of money from Bitcoin can flow into XRP, and it can flow overnight. So you need to just be aware of that. And because the truth is going to come out about all of these things sooner or later. And so I'm not preaching Bitcoin because you're playing with fire when you're playing with Bitcoin right now. But I keep an eye on it because it tells us the rest of the market. 4-hour chart. You were looking at the 4-hour chart. We're looking at some support that we had. We broke through our major tops on high volume. Yeah, that's bullish. There's some resistance areas. I don't think we're going to come back on Bitcoin, to be honest. And the reason is because we're already now in this area on above this white line. Okay, I mean this red line right there. So on the daily chart, when we penetrate that line becomes the new support. So it's very possible that price now that we're above will do that better. Do something like that, okay? So be aware, guys. This is just what I expect on Bitcoin. So I hope you guys enjoyed these videos that I'm doing and this content I'm putting out. I hope you guys are learning a lot, and this is really helping your trades and helping you you understand price action a lot better. Tune in a little bit later. We're going to be going over XDC and XLM in their own video, and then I'll be putting Shiba, Theta in another video with the memberships only. And then later this evening, I'll be doing the Dreams video for XRP. We'll be going over another video. And so I hope I see you guys there in that video. And we'll be going over that Dreams video later this evening. Remember, friends, remember to put your faith and trust in Jesus Christ. He'll never leave you. He'll never forsake you. He's the one that died for you, who loves you unconditionally. Where men will fail you, people will fail you, I'll fail you. People will let you down. People will hurt you. People you thought you could trust, people are going to be a disappointment. As the Bible says, there's no good person, no, not one. But you know what, friends? He's good. He is good. We know he's good. And he's for you. You say, who's for me? Who's for me? He's for you. He's the one that's going to be always the one that's faithful and sticketh closer. The Bible says there is a friend that sticks closer than a brother. It's him, Jesus Christ. He loves you. If you haven't already, put your faith and trust and your hope in him. Have a conversation with him. Pray and tell him thank you, and believe that he died on the cross for you and that he rose for you. He died, but he's not dead. He's alive. And there's a real place in heaven. He said, I'm going to prepare that place for you, and it's for you. And I hope to see you there. I hope we all make it. I hope we are all able to make it, and we'll have a big party one day about it in heaven. I'll see you, friends. Take care. See you in the next video.